Hi, Teague Tigers. We are having our review today for our very first concept unit test. So we've been studying about the relationship of numbers. We've been learning about the different forms of numbers, the value of numbers, place value, and how to compare and order. So we're going to look this in a way that you may see it on the test, just the format of it. So it's not so foreign to you because the test is open-ended for the most part. I think there may be one multiple choice. No. Yeah, I think there is one multiple choice. Not looking at the right test. Anyway, this is a review. So what you're going to do is you're going to pause the video in a minute, and I want you to go through the review, completing it as best as you can without any help. Okay, that's what's going to help you for your test. Now, when you finish, you're going to come back and resume the video, and that's where I will go through the answers and how to arrive at these answers and how these questions are asked when you're ready. Please, please, please do not resume the video until you have finished the entire review. If you do that, you're hurting no one but yourself because you're not getting the benefit of the explanation that goes with it. Okay, so you're just writing down answers and you may not even know what they're talking about. So anyway, go ahead and pause your videos now. Okay, welcome back. I hope you did well on your review. So we'll see what my answers are, and I'll tell you if there's a different way for that answer to be done or if my answer is the answer. Okay, so first off, we are writing numbers in different forms. That's going to be the first thing, and I've got it in a column. So you're going to do this, you're going to write the number form, and then you're going to write the number in number form right there. Okay, the written form, you're going to take this. Well, let me go ahead and write this number because this will be given to you. So the number that we're going to do is 467,398,560. Now I'm going to underline the 9 because you will see it already underlined when you have your test. And you'll see in a minute why that number is underlined. Okay, so first thing we want to do is our written form. Now you can use your place value chart. One side has the boxes for the place value, the other side has the words. The easiest thing to do with the written form of the word is to say it as you go and then write down what you say. But let's just go ahead and I'm going to review these first three digits all the way to the right of the number are called the units period. These three numbers are the thousands. And you don't have to put this, this is just me. Well, you can if you want, because I like to, it helps me to remember where I'm at. Okay. So, and we read our numbers starting from the left-hand side, and we read them in groups of the period that they're in, okay? And when you have the last digit in the period, then you say the name of the period. So 467,398,560. Okay, so that's my number. Now, to do that in written form, I want to write down exactly what I said. So if I need help with my spelling, you need to find that chart that you were given. And so just if you need help spelling the words, if you can do a pretty good job on it, don't worry about it. But the written form, so just like I read it, I'm going to write it. So 467 million. I'm going to get out rid of that S. That's going to, okay. So I'm going to write 467 See, I'm at the end of the period, so that's when I put my million on. Million, comma, just as if I were writing the number, 398,000. So now I'm going to write 398,000 at the end of the thousands period there. And then the last is 560. Okay, now I want to caution you on something. It's tempting to say 560 when it gets to the end, but be very careful and try to get out of the habit of saying 560. Okay, because that's going to mean something entirely different when we get to decimals. Okay, so and this really is the correct way to say it: 560, not 560. Okay, so try to get that down. If you need to pause your video at any time during this, as I've gone over an answer, to check yours and make corrections if you need to, do so. Okay, I'm going to leave you to that on your own. Just pause when you need it. Then the next question is for me to put that number in expanded form. So give me just 1 second. I'm going to see if I can change my brightness on this. Oh, wait, I see what happened. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my husband had, I had gone through and shut the shutters so I would have better, my document camera, you'll be able to see it better, but he decided to open them all back up again, which was really sweet of him. However, I needed them closed. But anyway, come on. All right, so for expanded notation, I'm going to go back up to my original number, my initial standard form of the number. If you always go back to the standard form of the number, that's the easiest way to write all the different forms, okay? Of course, sometimes you're going to be given the written form and you have to go into there, but you can just write 467 million, write it down, comma, 398,000, write it down, comma, 560, write it down. See, and then so it's pretty easy to go from the word form to the standard form if you're reading it correctly and writing it in between the pauses. Okay, so you read each period as if it were a 3-digit number, simply putting the name of the period where the comma is. Okay, all right, so expanded notation. Remember, expanded notation is the one that has the digit times the value. It's got the parentheses plus, and then you would have another one and so forth. That's just a little hint before we write it. But anyway, so we have 467,398. So 467,398,560. So once again, we're going to start with our largest place value. So that is 4 in the 100 millions place. So that means it is 400 million. But the way we want to express it is with a parentheses. And we're going to write 4 because the digit's 4, and we're going to write the value of the place. That's in the 100 millions column. So we're going to put 100 million plus. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next digit, the 6. 6 is in the 10,000, the 10 millions column. So I'm going to say the digit 6 and it's in the 10 millions column. Going off a little bit to the side, but that's okay. My next digit is 7. 7 is in the millions column. So 7 times 1 million plus, we have 398,000 here. So 3 is in the hundred thousands place. So 3 is my digit. The value is 300,000. My next digit is 9 times, it's in the 10,000s column, so I'm going to put times 10,000 plus 8 in the thousands column, 8 times 1,000 plus, now we're in the hundreds units, sorry, in the unit section. So that's 5 in that period is 500. So that 5 means 500. So I'm going to put the digit 5 times 100 plus 6 in the tens column. So 6 times 10. I don't need to put 0 times the ones column because that's going to be 0. So you do not have to put the 0, and when you're writing an expanded form, if you have a 0, you can leave it out. Just make sure that you, like if I had a 0 here where the 9 is, that, so I would have 300,000, and then I would have 8,000. You wouldn't have any 10,000s if you had a 0 there. So be careful of that. All right, so now the value of the underlined digit. Okay, so I underlined the 9, and the 9 is in the 10,000s place. Okay, so 9 in the 10,000s place would be what? I could write it as, I can figure it out if I wanted to show my work. 9 times 10,000, and that is equal to 90,000. So the value of the 9, the underlined digit, is 90,000. Okay? Okay, the next part of the review has us using the symbols less than, greater than, and or equal to write 2 comparison statements for the numbers. So, and then it also says to, does it say to justify your answers? I think in the actual test it says you want to justify your answer. Let me double check. Use words to describe your thinking. That's right. So use words to describe your thinking in this. And so what I put was I have 278,000 is greater than 361. Or sorry, 278,361 and 278,316. So I want to write 2 comparison statements, okay? So I'm going to write my comparison statements over here. That's fine. So I'm going to say that 278,361 and I'm going to lay them out vertically so I can really compare the digits. 278,316. Make sure that you are putting these in the correct, that you're lining the place values up. Now, as always, I'm going to start from the highest value. 2s, can't do it. 7s, can't do it. 8s, there's the same, can't do it. 3s are the same, can't do it. So now we have a 6 and a 1 in the tens column. Okay, so 6 is 60, 1 in the tens column is 10. So this one is greater than this one. Okay, so I can write my comparison statement 278,361 is greater than 278,316. Okay, well, what else? How else can I show it? What's the second way I can do it? I can turn it around, right? I can say that 278,316 is less than 278,361. Okay, now if I justify my answers, I have for this first one here, and this is my second one. The first one, what I put was because you can't compare the numbers until the tens place because the rest are the same. Okay, so you can't compare the numbers until the tens place because the rest are the same. Or we could say equal because let's use our mathematical talk because the other places are equal. Okay, so but the tens place is different. They are different in the tens place. So the 6 in the tens place is greater than the one in the tens place. So the 6 in the tens place is greater than the 1 in the tens place. And so 6 is greater than 1. Therefore, 278,361 is greater than 278,316. Okay, now you're going to see that written better, and you're going to see it for both when you look at the my answers that are already in like a nice form for you to study. But you must do this first, please. Okay. So the other way of explaining it would be that because you can't compare the numbers, so doing the less than, you can't compare the numbers until the tens place, same as before, we still can't compare till then, but they are different in the tens place. The 1 in the tens place and the first number here, is less than the 6 in the tens place in the second number. So 1 is less than 6 this time. So that would mean 278,316 is less than 278,361. So that's how you justify your answer. Okay? Now, expanded notation. Expanded notation. Now, I've done something here for you, and I've kind of made a sort of a place value chart, and you can do this your own as well. Okay, I was able to on the computer I put in a chart, but you can draw that rectangle and divide it by however many digits you have that you're having to put in expanded notation or in standard form or whatever. So and then I just put the thousands. I labeled the values, and I want to I really want to put a comma there so I can remember the thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. So my number is 2,698. So I have 2 in the thousands, 6 in the hundreds, 9 in the tens, and 8 in the ones. Now I want to take this and put it into expanded notation. So remember, expanded notation is the one that uses the wherever they, parentheses and the multiplication. Okay, so I'm going to put my parentheses, and the digit 2 is in the thousands place. So 2 times 1,000 plus I have a 6, and it's in the hundreds place, so that's 6 times 100 plus I have a 9 in the tens place. That's 9 times 10 plus I have an 8 in the ones place. That would be 8 times 1. See, if you put it in the chart, look how easy it is to get that out, okay? All right. And sometimes they'll give you, like if you have a multiple choice, they might give you different expanded forms all jumbled up. You know, they might put like the tens over here. So read it and put them in the correct box. All right. So describe the relationship between the number fives and the number 3,552 in 2 ways. Okay. Now, this goes back to our very first 2 lessons. Okay. So the relationship between the fives in the number 3,552. Okay, so if I have thinking about the value and the place values. Now, the only way they're going to ask you this question, or the only way it's going to be possibly true, is if you're comparing 2 numbers side by side that are the same. Okay, so they have to be sitting side by side and they have to be the same digit. Okay, so one way you can do it is that the value of the fives, I'm going to make this bigger. Shoot. So I'm comparing these two right here, or not comparing, but I'm describing the relationship. So the 5 in the hundreds column is what to the tens column? Well, 5 in the hundreds, how many times does it take the tens column, 5 in the tens column to get to 100? You have to multiply it by 100, right? Sorry, by 10. 5, which is 50, 50 times 10 will give you 500. So the way we would write this, and this is going to be true every time for using this part as a sentence stem. The value of the 5 in the hundreds place is 10 times the 10 times greater. Sorry, I should have greater than the 5 in the tens place. All right. Now, to write it the different way, I want to go from another relationship from the tens to the hundreds. Okay. So how many, if I have 500, how do I get to 50? 5 to 50. 500 to 50. Now that means I'm going backwards, and I am actually going to divide to go backwards. Multiplication, division are opposite each other. So the way this sentence stem would look is the value of the 5 in the tens place is, and that's where we get to our fraction, because fraction also means to divide. We're dividing things up into sections when we do fractions. So sometimes fractions or sometimes division is shown as a fraction. So the value of the 5 in the tens place is 1/10 the value of the number in the hundreds place. Okay, now if you will use these as a sentence stem, all you have to do is fill out Well, you're going to have to fill out the 10 times greater or the 1/10 the value of. Okay, so that's what you're looking to put in between those things. All right, that's one of the hardest things I think we have. So next, we have choose the value. Where's mine? Oops. Sorry, guys. Oh, wait, there. It's right. Oh, that's the wrong way. I have the original there. Let's put it with the non-original. The one that's not already filled in. You may have seen it. No biggie. Okay. So no, hang on.